We begin this morning, though, with the latest from the aftermath of Hurricane Ian. And we know that President Biden and the First Lady will be in Florida Wednesday to tour areas devastated by the storm.
Yeah, one major area of concern, getting the power back on. Some 50,000 electrical workers are making progress to get 500,000 homes back online in 24 hours. But the big story this morning is the human impact. So far, 87 people are confirmed dead after Hurricane Ian tore through their areas. And sadly, that number is expected to grow. In the hardest hit areas, rescue crews are still going door to door and combing through all of that rubble to try to find victims and survivors. We have full coverage this morning, starting with NBC News correspondent Dasha Burns in hard-hit Fort Myers Beach. And Dasha, I know you were embedded with the Florida task force there performing those important search and rescue operations. What was that experience like?
Hey, Stephen, good morning. Yeah, we spent much of the day yesterday with Florida Task Force 2, one of the search and rescue task forces that FEMA has, going out, as you said, door to door to homes, trying to find folks that might still need rescue and looking for those individuals that are missing. And, you know, you see some of this devastation behind me here. Take that and multiply it over and over and over, and you might get a small sense of the enormity of this devastation, and also, Stephen, of the scale and the scope of the search and rescue and recovery effort. This is such a massive catastrophe, and the amount of work that has to get done in the coming days, in the coming weeks, and in the months after these cameras leave is just mind-boggling. As we were driving and walking through that damage, it looked like someone just took a baseball bat to a toy dollhouse. That is what homes that people had lived in for decades looked like. And these rescue workers, you've got the federal folks with FEMA. You've also got people who are in this local community, people from the Fort Myers area, people from the surrounding area that are dealing with their own tragedies, and also helping in this search and rescue effort that is so urgent right now, because there are still people missing out there, Stephen.
And Dasha, we were taking a look at some aerial views of that damage left behind. A huge undertaking right here. I was surprised the FEMA director says this search and rescue operation is the largest it has ever conducted. If you would talk us through the process that these teams are going through right now.
Yeah, let me give you just a couple of numbers to give you a sense here. FEMA tells us that they have a total of 17 urban search and rescue task forces, 104 boat squads, 48 canines in the field, with 18 more still coming, and a total of 1,289 personnel so far, and that is likely going to be growing in the coming days here. Speaking of those canines, let me walk you through how this process works, because we got a firsthand look at it yesterday. Stephen, there's a preliminary search where they're taking a look, seeing any signs of life, unfortunately also looking for any signs of death. And yesterday we were on the ground when the task force had to call in what they call a human remains canine. That's a dog that comes in when there is a suspicious circumstance. Yesterday there was a suspicious odor coming from a home where there was a 90-year-old woman reported missing. That dog came in, did its search, and alerted with a bark, which helped the search and rescue team kind of narrow the area where they were looking. And it's this kind of slow, methodical process that we witnessed that also comes with this gravity, with this sadness here. I want you to listen to one of the fire chiefs that we spoke with about how they go about this process. Listen.
It is methodical, it's systematic, it is dangerous, and as you can see as you look around how quiet it is with all these rescuers on the scene, it's also a process that is done with the highest degree of respect possible for the loved ones that have been lost here.
Stephen, that quietness that the chief was talking about there, that was maybe the most chilling part of our day yesterday, just to see this devastation, this destruction, but hear so little, even as these efforts continued, the way that they so slowly and carefully were removing that debris. Not big bulldozers, not a big hubbub, not a lot of commotion. Quiet, methodical, respectful, Stephen.
And Dasha, we don't have a lot of time left, but I did want to ask, what are people on the ground telling you about what they're going through?
Yeah, we don't have time. I want to take you straight to Jesse and Vinny, who are an example of what so many people are going through. They've been in this community for a long time. They watched their neighbors get rescued, watched some of their neighbors, unfortunately, not survive. Take a listen to our conversation yesterday.
It was like a river. Just a river going through there with like 3-foot waves.
It was white water rip.
I mean, it was
running through
it was
as
up
high
there.
as the house. High as the foundation there, the beam.
40 years here. What's it like to wake up every morning now and see your neighborhood like this?
It'll come back better. It'll come back better.
Stephen, they are traumatized but optimistic. They've even taken in some people whose homes were destroyed who are living with them right now, trying to do all they can to help this community move forward. Stephen?
All those individual stories of trauma. Dasha Burns, thank you.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Follow today's top stories and breaking news by downloading the NBC News app.